24 hours following the dismissal of Maxwell Konadu'S as head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the Nabila Show comes your way once again with some insight information as the lead up to the sacking of Maxwell Konadu'S, as we already brought you in the previous edition of the Nabila Show on Mufta Nabila Abdullah YouTube channel, your home of exclusivity. Some more development have been coming in, and we feel it is right to let you know. There are some of the things that we were already in the known, but that we just add them to the conversation that we've already brought to viewers of this network. First of all, we are starting from the angle of the build-up to the sacking of Maxwell Konadu'S. Immediately after the game against Great Olympics on Thursday, we were made to clearly understand that it was the PA of the Chief Executive Officer, David Oben. He made a couple of calls to people, including some fans of the club, to ask what they know about the attitude of the players at the training grounds, the attitude of the coach towards the players at the training grounds, and he even sought their opinion on whether they should replace Maxwell Konadu'S or not. However, like we reported yesterday, Maxwell Konadu'S was sacked long ago, not just the day they met him. Following those phone calls that he made, they went to the hotel where the team is lodging and woke Maxwell Konadu'S up around 12 a.m. To level a plethora of allegations against him. We are made to understand that about 7 allegations were made against him. He was accused of losing the dress room. He was accused of not being able to control the boys because they have a very terrible attitude towards football. And he was accused of always not making himself available to be criticized. But this was one thing that was quite funny because oftentimes the media have always claimed that the management of Kotoko were forcing players, Maxwell, who should play or who should not play, and all that. But trust me, take it from me. I was made to understand that there was a serious argument at this point when that accusation was leveled against Maxwell, because the chief executive officer has never for once even asked to see the starting lineup of the team. The chief executive officer has never for once criticized Maxwell for his selection of the team. The chief executive officer has never for once called Maxwell to ask him, why did you play player A, player B, and player C? It was at this meeting that that conversation now came up, and people who were within the meeting said that, well, there have never been a day that the CEO, the president of the Naya Amponsa, have asked that he wants to see. And trust me, I think the management of Kataka at this point have been one of the most professional individuals, in my opinion, because for them not to even try to influence Maxwell on who should play and who should not play, I think that this is thumbs up. But the other thing too is that the management, apart from 4 players or so, maybe Muniru, Evans Adumako, Fabio Gama, then there was one other player that I've forgotten. The rest of the players were signed on a recommendation of Maxwell. So the management feel that, yes, Maxwell, these are your players. You asked for them, so you should be able to get them running. The interesting thing about Maxwell not being able to control the boys and all that, there was also the other aspect of how when they got there to have the meeting with Maxwell, 2 of the players were outside at the time of the night. So the management didn't understand why players should still be out there by the time of the night. So they felt that because he's lost control over the boys, that's why they are not sleeping by that time of the night. But it's quite interesting, because the bigger question everyone will be asking is, where was the team manager? And players who have lost a match are standing outside around 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. This is not nice. For them to blame their coach for this, I clearly don't get it. But they say it's the coach's fault. So they need to find maybe all sort of reasons to be able to let go Maxwell. But let me reiterate that at no point has the coach ever been forced to play a certain player or otherwise, because he has never So the accusation of he doesn't avail himself to be criticized was one thing. But if you need to criticize his play, his style of play, his choice of players, call him and ask him to provide you answers. If you don't ask for that, well, he'll just do his tactical things and do, because you're taking care of your administration stuff. He's taking care of his playing buddies. So I think at that front, management, you've done well. I don't think you should be forcing yourself to influence who should play and who should not play. But when you turn up to make an accusation of him not making himself available to be criticized, that area I disagree with the management. And um, that is basically it. We are made to understand that management gave him an opportunity to explain or give them in details tactically what he thinks he can do to help the team improve. That is literally that what we were made to understand by some management of Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, and some people within the playing body of the club. Um, in this meeting, Maxwell, per our understanding, was asked to put together a tactical plan of how he thinks he can improve the team, and that was how the meeting ended. In that meeting, Maxwell was not sacked outrightly. He was rather asked to put together a tactical plan of what he thinks he can do to improve the team. So Maxwell went in to do this, but we cannot clearly tell whether he was able to finish or not, because it was deep into the night and he slept off. And um, around 7 a.m., when the team was there for breakfast, that was when Emmanuel Newton Dasobre and David Oben, the PO of Nanaya Amponsa, brought him his sack letter. But in a meeting in the middle of the night, Maxwell was not in the known. And as we mentioned previously in other in the previous episode, Maxwell never saw his sacking coming. Maxwell addressed the boys, of whom we had a privilege of speaking to, and some of them had clearly told the Nabila Show that the poor run of resource is purely not coaching, but also there are several other factors that influences the performance of players on and off the pitch. So we were made to understand that some of them were crying like babies, the likes of Godfrey Siama, the likes of Ibrahim Moro, Christopher Neti, Latifa Nabila, Emmanuel Kayake, most of these boys, Sarkodie, uh, most of these boys were crying like babies, even to the extent that Godfrey Siama, according to one of the players, it took the coach to lift Godfrey Esiama to his hotel room to plead with him to stop crying and promise him that there are better days ahead. Most of the players clearly told the Nabila Show that they had a bond with the coach which went beyond professionalism, and they felt that it is extremely unfair to sack the coach at this point. Even some of them clearly said that this was the wrong time to sack the coach. And then the coach left the hotel room. We were made to understand around 2 to 3 p.m. And the management went and introduced the interim coach in the person of Johnson Smith to the players. And this was where the players went ballistic against some of the management who were in the meeting. They clearly told those management members that even if they bring Pep Guardiola to manage Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they will not get the results they are seeking for. And they had made it clear to them that management made a plethora of promises that they've not been able to fulfill. You told us you were going to spread our signing on fees as part of our salaries. You're not doing. Our winning bonus against Legon Cities is yet to come. When we went to far away to Mauritania to play Nouadhibou, all those monies are yet to come. You owe us signing on fees, and you brought in new players who earn 2-3 times our salaries, and they made all these things known to the management of the club. So clearly, they sent the message to the management that the coach is not the reason why the results are not improving, but there are other factors that are influencing them. We even understand some of the players were raising their voices, but I think it's quite unfortunate that the players will take this position, in as much as I appreciate their concern. But as professionals, no matter the circumstances, you should be able to remain professional and get your job done. But when you open up, it's sometimes it's good to make your inner feelings known to your leaders. But I think that the players could have been able to massage those feelings and maybe find a way of communicating. But to wait for them to sack the coach and you now have your way of telling them. We are made to understand that maybe Maxwell was the shield between the players, venting their spleen at management and making demands. Some of the management members said these players, what their interest is all the time. Anytime you have a conversation with them they are demanding for monies. Management told the players that until they qualify to the group stages of the competition, they are not paying any bonuses and all that, or any packages and all that. And these things clearly made the players unhappy, and they've made it very clear to the management. So Johnson Smith have got a lot of work to do in getting these boys to his side. He needs to build that rapport that Maxwell had with them, so that he can maybe steer the ship steadily until such a time an appointment is made to come and lead the technical direction of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. That is clearly basically what we've got for you today in relation to the sacking of Maxwell Konadu'S and the conversation that ensued between management and the players. Some of the players said the timing of his sacking is extremely wrong, and it is it's a bit understandable. But if management feels that we need change of direction, like I mentioned, when they spoke to the board and the board sought the permission of some technical members, they did advise the board that yes, some said it was not coaching problem, just as what the players told some management members when they met them as they went to introduce the interim head coach to them. Um, Others also said that maybe when there's a change of direction, you bring competition into the team because players wouldn't feel that they own spaces in the team. So basically, that is what is happening. This is a developing story, and as and when we have more details, we'll be making them available. We already stated that there was disagreements amongst the board on the sacking of Maxwell. As and when we have details of when the meeting will happen for Nana to explain to them why he sacked him, maybe we should be privileged to have the information and make it available to our viewers. Thanks very much for your company. I am Nabila Show, and this is the Nabila Show.